go.
Kept you waiting, huh? All right, everybody. Welcome. Can we just stop this decade, please? No, this is not Los Angeles now. This is Demolition Man from 1993. Oh, man. Things are just getting... Oh, boy. Buckle up, everybody. Because this year is just... Oh, man. This is just getting nuts. So, welcome aboard, everybody, to this ARC stream. As you all may know, California is currently on fire, and it is not good right now because you have, if not the largest metropolitan area in the United States after New York City. This is the culmination of decades of not only mismanagement, but that mismanagement either done purposefully or being done because of incompetence has led to even more malfeasance and incompetence on top of that to create a massive disaster. I mean, it is just absolutely nightmarish what we are dealing with in our country in terms of our failing infrastructure. This comes to our infrastructure. We don't have the infrastructure available in our if the largest city in the country, or the largest metropolitan area in the country, because it's a larger area than New York, the New York metropolitan area. I mean, we're talking about an area the size of Belgium, more or less, Southern California. And I've been there just recently, so it just hits even harder that some of the places that I've been to are gone. But I mean, just to look at it now, we're talking about decades and billions of dollars not even spent in the right places. And, well, first of all, let's be honest. Nobody wants to talk about, or nobody has really mentioned how this thing started. If we want to go from the beginning, how this started, how it ignited, this looks like some sort of arson. I don't know. It's a possibility. I'm not going to go into the conspiracy of that. But just like what happened last week, with all the attacks of everything that happened during New Year's Day. Not even. It was the first day of the year, and already going into this. Okay? Our infrastructure is not built up to be taking this much. Okay? Let me see. Where's that one video that I have here? Okay. I apologies, guys. I had not had time to go ahead and get this all in order over here, but yeah, here's the Hollywood Hills. Everybody trying to get out of there. Okay. There we are. Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you what, now there's people. I didn't see any traffic, that much traffic while I was there, but now there's certainly a lot of traffic. But this isn't good at all, what's going on over in Los Angeles. And I get it. From a political perspective, most people are not fans of California or Los Angeles, and I get it. I understand. But now, after being there and seeing the people, and look, not only that, this is an American city. This should not be happening in an American city where people's homes are getting burnt down and there is nothing that anybody can be able to do about it. It's nuts. It's terrible and it's awful. Look at this.
Freaking fire in the Hollywood Hills. Like, this is right now in LA. Yo.
Yeah, this is and I get it. Look, nobody's not really a fan of Hollywood or any of these people over here. That some of these houses are burning up. Yeah, but it's also burning, regular normal people's houses. This is just nuts. But yeah, the priorities are just not straight when it comes to California. And when it comes to Los Angeles in general, and the people who are in charge, mainly the people who are in charge. Okay, because we talked about this. I honestly do think that Los Angeles and the greater Los Angeles area is more red than people take for granted. When I was there, I saw more getting rid of Gavin Newsom and "Don't Tread on Me" flags and recall Gavin Newsom signs, and even some Trump signs, particularly in San Bernardino County. But in LA County in general, maybe not as much, but you still see a good amount of it. So, but regardless, besides the politics of these people, it's an American city. This should not be happening in an American city. It's absolutely wrong, and it's ridiculous. But I mean, look at this. Gavin Newsom slashed fire prevention budget by $100 million before deadly wildfires reports. Signed into law in June, the budget eliminated $101 million from 7 wildfire-enforced resilience programs. Okay? And this is not the only thing. We've known this about California, that you can vote on a proposition in California to make it into law. That's something that California has that no other state has. So 8 years ago, California voters approved Proposition 1, a $7.5 billion water bond to fund water infrastructure projects, including $2.7 billion earmarked specifically for new water storage. Not a single water storage project has been completed. So that was 8 years ago. $7.5 billion have gone nowhere. And it's the same thing that happened with the California High-Speed Rail Authority. Okay? Californians voted for California High-Speed Rail to connect San Francisco to Los Angeles. Still hasn't gotten built, but we were going to talk a little bit about this week because, let me see if I can actually find it, if I can. And I may have to go into my bookmarks to find it because now I can't find it, but yeah, they finally put down a piece of, let me see if I can go into Discord because I know we have it in Discord. Anyways, let me take a breath here. Hello, everybody, the audience in YouTube land. And everybody in Discord, how's it going? Yeah, American Psycho over American Governor. Yeah, this is I don't know. Maybe we'd better off with American Psycho at this rate. But this is just. Let me see if I can find that article over here. But yeah, guys, this is just nuts. Okay, here we go. Ceremony marks start. I know we're going back and forth over here, but let me just gather some thoughts, go through some of these. And then we'll. This is a crazy time that's going on, so we're going to open it up into a lounge. We're not going to just take 5 minutes here or there. I want everybody to get their thoughts in to really discuss this, and really just let your minds go wild on this. Okay, not as wild as the fires, but yeah. Okay, so California finally brought in a tracks, and of course, the first thing we notice about these tracks, this is supposed to be high-speed rail. So why are the ties made out of wood? I speculated that this was, and funny enough, this was on the same day, January 6, 2025, more or less when everything started. I mean, wait, but what day is it now? I forget. When did this start? Tuesday the 6th? Okay, I guess, yeah, more or less the same day that these fires more or less started, because this has been going on for a week now. And with no end in sight. They haven't been contained. Some of them have been contained maybe halfway through, but some of them are still 0% containment the last time I checked this afternoon. It's been bonkers. Absolutely nuts. Ah, man. Let me see. Back on the East Coast, we are 1 week into congestion pricing, and hopefully this will put more pressure on audit the MTA. Yeah, that's another thing we'll be talking about. The PvP zone that is the MTA. This is... Look... I get the whole thing about congestion pricing. I get what it's trying to do. I understand that. The problem is that you're pushing people. You're preventing. Let's talk about this, okay? And then we'll talk about the MTA. I get it. We'll talk about the MTA by all means. We will get to that. But right now, the biggest pile of fire right now is what's going on in California, both literally and figuratively. But yeah, finally, a track. So it's not just concrete anymore. The high-speed concrete, we will continue the memes. It is still high-speed concrete. I'm not going to let that meme go. But regardless, it only took them, 15 years to finally get a piece of track on there? 15 freaking years since they've signed this into law? I mean, this is just, it's crazy. Oh, man. I really feel for all you guys in California. You guys are under occupation. This is not this is terrible. It honestly is. This is by all means and accounts, in terms of 21st century American history, I'm sorry, 20th century American history, probably the greatest state in the Union, according to a lot of people. Okay, I wouldn't all disagree, but in terms of the American dream, in terms of what people thought would be the American dream, everybody pointed to California, to the point that wherever California goes, so goes the country. I'm kind of butchering that phrase, but California means a lot in terms of the American identity and the American direction. And this is not a good direction of what's going on. Okay? You have a massive project that should have been completed years ago that is now reassessing their ridership numbers because of the decrease in population within the state. And plus, the state is burning. I mean, what do you think that's going to do to the population numbers now in your largest metropolitan area? What is that going to do? It's nuts. But anyway, let's get through here. Okay, so one thing I want to get out of the way, because one of the biggest things that, so we'll talk about conspiracy theories here, right? And there's nothing wrong with conspiracy theories. Again, conspiracy means a group of people conspiring to do one act or action or another. That's perfectly fine. And a theory is exactly that. It's a theory. Okay? But the theory that I say lends absolutely zero credence whatsoever is the theory that whenever there's some sort of California wildfire, that it's burning way for the high-speed rail project, which is not. Okay, so here are the fires right now. Okay, you have the Eaton fire and the Hollywood Hills fire. Okay, and here is the easement. Where are the right on the I-5? High-speed rail build alternative has been identified as a preferred route. So that's where it's going to go, right? Right along the I-5. So right here where there's one fire, another fire. So it's in between. It's in between the fires. It's not burning this whole entire route for the fires to go right through here. It's going right in between the middle. And for a reason, because these are hills and mountains. Okay, so where most of these fires are happening, it is mostly in the hills of California. So if you guys have been there or seen it, there's a lot of mountains. I mean, for somebody who's a native, born and raised Miami, Floridian, it kind of you kind of get freaked out. It's like, what are those giant rocks over there? What is that? But that's where most of these are happening. And if you've driven up in those mountains, there's a lot of dry brush there. So a lot of these fires are jumping from one place to another. I'm not going to get into the whole thing because we've heard it to death this whole entire week. Okay? The point of this stream we're talking about is that we have not prepared for anything in terms of getting our infrastructure to the point where it needs to go. And infrastructure is not just trains, because I know we love trains over here, but when I talk about infrastructure, I'm talking about the broader range of infrastructure, including sewage, water pipes, roads, electrical work, okay, internet, all that sort of stuff. Everything that we use and on a daily basis is all based on infrastructure. And our infrastructure is not up to par. Okay, it is a D-, according to the American civil engineers. This is just nuts. Let me see if I can find that one video. There's just so many things that I have on here, and I haven't had the time to just work on this. Oh, speaking of other stuff, not just our infrastructure, but our military isn't doing so well as well. But so we've talked about, yeah, look at this. It's just entire homes just completely gone, just leveled, done. But part of infrastructure is also making sure that your country is safe and secure. And when you have elements within your military, particularly those who aren't friendly to you within your military, they're going to start to steal stuff from you, or they're going to start to find ways to sabotage. And something that has happened for quite a long time. This is not just a recent phenomenon, but having military equipment stolen, okay? And there was a time, even back in the 1940s, where you had crime syndicates or mafias that would send in people into the military to get training so they can be more effective killers when they come back out of the military. But you also had in the 90s where people would go into bases, whether it was Fort Hood, Bragg, whichever it was, and they would try to see if they can get an MOS that was either in the armory or knew somebody in the armory so they can go ahead and steal equipment. And then all of a sudden, that equipment ends up somewhere south of the border or somewhere in south central LA. Who knows? Who knows how Joaquin got a fully automatic M16A4 with a Churchicon on it? I don't know. How do you get a PEC 15 and a PVS 14 night vision? Who knows? I don't know. But hey, 8 machine gun vehicle mounts, 3 Humvees, which by the way, those Humvees don't have keys. You can just literally just walk into there, and they were made that you can just flick them on. It's crazy. 7 freestanding machine gun tripods, medical equipment, 40 pairs of binoculars. That's interesting. And 18 bayonets. Well, I don't know what they're going to be stabbing with 18 bayonets, but if you see the cartel members charging across the border with 18 bayonets, maybe that's a problem. But anyway, that's just one little thing. Let's see if I can go over through here. But yeah. Oh, by the way, $8 billion more for Israel and 500 million more for Ukraine. It's just nuts. While this is happening in your own country, okay, unbelievable, absolutely, just wrong. Speaking of sabotage, there is a good theory out there that it could have been an arsonist. I don't know. No GPS, 5 cell phones on his person. Suspect had a United Nations prepaid debit card. I mean, what does the United Nations give out gift cards at this rate? I don't know. Who knows? Who knows at this rate? Like I said, with the whole thing what happened with LA, there's a whole bunch of stuff that we'll never know what exactly happened. Okay? That's not the point. The point is that we're not prepared, that whatever does happen, we're not prepared for it. This is just further proof. Man, I have to go through all these sort of things. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, wait. Speaking of, here you go. LA $750,000 a year water chief Janice Quinones knew about empty reservoir and broken hydrants months before fires. Okay, I'm not going to go into the whole details of this. There's only one thing I need you to say. Just look at this person. Look at this this face over here. All right, and there you go. Tell me the difference between that and that. Oh man, this is just bonkers, man. This is just bonkers. All right, I'll get that off the screen. Anyway, there is something that you can do if you want to do something right now. I know it probably won't do much of anything because we know what petitions do. Okay, we've all been there and done that. Petitions basically do more or less nothing. But hey, if you want to feel like you want to do something, you can go on change.org, and there's like 108,000 verified signatures right now to demand the immediate resignation of Mayor Karen Bass, which should be the first thing that should happen in order to start fixing everything else over here. Because this is ridiculous. She should not be in charge at all. Which, speaking of, and I can't find the actual video, when she came back from her trip to Ghana, for her to say absolutely nothing. And that's basically the whole video. Was a journalist going ahead and asking her questions. How are you not prepared for this? Is it true that, people don't have any access to water, or the fire hydrants are empty? And for her to just stand there and say absolutely nothing. I mean, the term leadership, that's just a disgrace to the term leadership. That's somebody who should not be there at all. And that's just more of an example of people who just fail upward into these roles. Because there is a lot of people, and I've been there and I've seen it, whether it's a local commissioner or mayors or anything like that, people who have absolutely no business being in a leadership position, but because they've sucked up to the right person, or they're taking money from the right person, or they're groomed through either way, okay, whether through politics, through money, lobbying, whatever in general, okay, they were able to find themselves in that position. And this is definitely a person that has absolutely no Nothing. She should not absolutely shouldn't be a mayor, particularly a mayor of the one of the largest cities in the United States. This is just appalling. Oh man. Okay, let's not get back to that image there. But anyway, here you guys can let me see if I can copy the link over here and send it over to the chat. But yeah. There you go. Let me see. What's going on in the comments over here? For high traffic areas or high risk areas, grade separation should be also funded for effective lead speed. Okay, well, we'll talk about that also with Brightline as well. Conspiracy hypothesis. There you go. Yeah, we'll call it a hypothesis. Who knows? There's just so much going on. Let's see. Where is that one video that I wanted to find here? Oh man, let me see. Okay, so FDNY did want to offer help as well. That was another thing. But for some reason, there are Mexican firefighters up there, and I don't know. This is all just weird. This is all just strange, and you can't even go there to volunteer, even if you wanted to go ahead and help out. I mean, you're not going to go out and go start taking out fires. That's ridiculous for somebody to be doing. But we're just asking for, okay, having people to go over there and, hand out, help out, work with finding people, something. Let me see if I can find this. Where is it? I'll look through my bookmarks over here. Ah, boy. Yeah, we'll talk about this Brightline thing as well. Where is it? I know I had it here somewhere. And we'll talk about New York as well, but let's see. Okay. There was a video I had on the electrical grid just surging all over the place. I apologize, guys. I haven't had the time to really just focus on this today and really get things up. My apologies, but we'll get to that. I will find it at some point. Here's the other thing. Family assistance centers are not shelters. They provide info by phone if missing. So yeah, Los Angeles is inadequately prepared for having emergency centers available for, again, we're talking about millions upon millions of people in Los Angeles, and it's not there. I mean, this is just crazy, guys. Man. Oh, man. Yeah, this is just... We're not even out of January yet. We're not even halfway through January, and this is what's going on within our country. This is just nuts. This is crazy. By the way, speaking of the competency crisis, here's this one video. I don't know if you guys have seen this. Completely misses just completely whiffs it. Now, look. Some guys make some honest mistakes. I get it, but simple physics. You should have dropped it while you were on the move over here. It's moving along the x-axis, guy. I mean, come on. Anyway, but yeah, look at some of these places. These are all homes, places that people lived in, completely gone. I don't know if this is AI generated. At this point, I've lost track with whatever Lamborghini is making now at this point, that I would believe it if somebody told me that this was AI generated. I mean, just looking at it, doesn't seem to be AI generated, but this is a believable picture of being in Los Angeles. Yeah. It's fire doesn't spare anybody, whether you're rich or you're poor. It just doesn't. Oh, here's something funny for everybody here.
Look, I can see daylight. We're gonna be okay.
Kidnap children in some Hollywood producer's basement.
I think that's daylight.
Okay, I mean, still, it's just crazy. But yeah, look, let's back to the human element of it. These were homes that belonged to people. These were memories. These were homes. These were what belonged to people.
This is your house?
This is my house. This one right here. We moved in 26 years ago. And we did the floors, and we put in windows and doors and painted and just put... My grandchildren loved it. My son and my daughter-in-law, my family. We hosted Christmas Eve and Christmas Day here, and everybody was here. My little house that I loved. my husband. Just had his 4th cancer surgery. I poured everything into it. My nephew.
This is heartbreaking. I mean, just look at this. This could be your mother, okay? And for all that we say about boomers, I get it. But let's beside the fact, okay? This was somebody who bought the house, and this was going to be somebody that she was going to be living in this house forever. Okay, this was going to be her forever home, and just gone. All those memories that they built in those homes. She's not talking about like, oh my this, my that, or again. This woman's not talking about stuff. She's talking about memories, activities, and people. Okay, because that's all connected in there. When we talk about community on this club, this is what we're talking about. Okay, that's all gone, just burnt up in a blaze. Now, thank God that she's okay and her family's okay, but you can't replace. That's something that you can't replace like that easily. Especially all those memories and everything that she made in those houses, the connection and everything, the parties that she had, the laughter, the tears, the smiles and everything, all those memories that were built in the house is just gone. Okay? I mean, she still has those memories, but this is what we're talking about, guys. This is affecting real people. Oh, man. But it's just nuts what's going on. And then, speaking of baseball bats, okay, this sort of stuff just pisses me off. So here are the heroes coming in to save the stuff. There you go. But there's a disaster happening. This is what's going on. Yeah, they're saving the TV. Here come the heroes. Okay. This is just nuts. I mean, there are some times that this is not a joke. Sometimes, oh man. But like I'm telling you guys, this our country is not at all ready. And speaking of, here's if we all forgot about Appalachia from Hurricane Helene, they're still hurting over there. No, it's like it's not a day has passed. It's still in rubble. We there is no need to be throwing any sort of money overseas when our country from one coast to another is looking like this and it's looking like this. This is a national emergency. Our infrastructure needs to be fixed. Not just fixed, it needs to be brought up to a higher standard. I'm honestly sick and tired of seeing videos like this from other countries. And it's nice that other countries have this. This is Moscow. Again, I'm not a fan of the, you know, having the little picture of Lenin or any of that sort of stuff. I can't. But look at the just the general architecture within the and it's clean. Okay, why is New York still looking like I don't know what? It's still looking like a rat den. Okay, and speaking of New York City, we can go over here. This just happened on New York City in the last week or so. So for those of you who don't know, New York City has now what's called congestion pricing. That in order to go into Lower Manhattan, you need to pay a toll. Apart from all the other tolls you have to pay for. If any of you've ever driven in and out of New York City, whether from Jersey or anywhere else, you have to pay a lot of tolls after every bridge you go through, or tunnels, whether you're going through Lincoln Tunnel, George Washington Bridge, Holland Tunnel, whatever. Okay, because this is coming from a guy who mostly comes through from Jersey. Okay, but now on top of that, in order to go to Lower Manhattan, you have to pay, what is it, a minimum $9 or whatever, or $21 if you're a truck, an 18-wheeler. Okay, I get it. You want people to ride the train. Perfectly fine. But why would you want to ride the train when this is what's going on the New York subway on nearly a daily basis, where people are facing violence. You're basically walking into a PvP zone, like in a video game. Okay, this is the wilderness, but this is New York City, where all of a sudden, and I'll just go through this because you guys can see the full video over here, and they censored it. A homeless man is sleeping. The only weapon that he has for his own self-defense is a little knife, and he's able to defend himself. I mean, good on him for a 69-year-old. I mean, this is he's going up against these four goblin-looking dudes. I don't know. This is just weird. And they're stealing his stuff, or attempting to steal his stuff. Look at him. He's still there. He's still there. The MTA is just turning into a nightmare zone. Look at these. This looks like some sort of creature. I don't know what the heck is. What are we letting into our country? What's going on? But yeah, this is oh man, this is what's going on in our country now. Yeah, so recommended attire for anybody in New York. This is what you got to be wearing now to survive in New York City at this rate. You got to be the Goblin Slayer. But man. Oh yeah, here a reminder, as the fires rage on in Los Angeles, our leaders still have yet to resolve what happened in East Palestine. We the people are not the priority and haven't been for quite some time. So yeah, they're still waiting on the train derailment settlement money in East Palestine, Ohio. Remember that, guys. Like I said, our country's cooked at this rate. And of course, Norfolk Southern says, a spokesperson for Norfolk Southern says they are not responsible for distributing the money. I get it. It's not in your wheelhouse to be doing that. It's the government. I get it. But at least show a modicum of just caring. You did an oopsie, a very bad oopsie, and you at least want to show that, like, well, we're trying to do everything that we can to help out the community that we harmed, that we go through, and we harmed them. We should at least help them out. But nah. We're not responsible for distributing the money.
Payouts for the East Palestine train derailment settlement are still being finalized.
The $600 million is being divided up, but some say it's been months and they have not gotten anything.
Gina Cadigan spoke to those who are eager to get the money they desperately need. Gina.
Well, several people have been looking in their mailboxes every day for these checks. Some got a letter about it this week, but it only
This is nuts. How we've been what, almost this is almost 2 years later.
Some people living in East Palestine
more than 2 years later,
still waiting for their cut of the $600 million train derailment settlement.
We haven't got a letter. We haven't got nothing. We haven't heard nothing.
Terry Flowers lives right behind the derailment site. She says she filled out all the paperwork with the Norfolk Southern Family Assistance Center months ago.
Yeah, and look, just by the way, you can clearly see the Trump flag over here. And then the people on the left want to say, well, why would people do that? Because they feel like they got to... Now, I don't know how much Trump is going to do to it. And honestly, the more and more that he's coming out and Musk has been coming out, the less and less hope that I have. And yeah, you know what? I didn't care, and I didn't think he was going to do anything. You know what? It was kind of a way to just stomp on the foot of people I didn't like. Just to the ballot box, okay? That was really the only reason that a lot of people voted for Trump. That was really it. It was the economy, and apart from, going absolutely psycho mode, they were ticked off at the way things were at right now, and the smugness of the people who were against that. That's it. That is it. You tick so many people off that they were willing to vote for Trump. That's it. Okay? But this is what's going on. That people are just absolutely ticked off of what's going on, that they've been treated, our own countrymen, our people in our country have been treated like garbage. And by the way, it's not just speaking of maybe it could have been a good thing that New York's firefighters weren't sent over to LA, because then this just happened. 200 fire and EMS personnel operating at the scene of a 5-alarm fire, Wallace Avenue in the Bronx. Okay, those buildings have also been falling apart all over the place in New York. You got gas pipes leaking all over the place. You don't know, one hipster with the wrong vape, and off that goes. And then you have this Boeing 757 having an engine failure on takeoff. So another failure from Boeing. Yeah, and they had to go ahead and have an emergency landing. Ah, man. Or, I'm sorry. Takeoff was aborted. The aircraft was evacuated on the runway. No sort of landing. My apologies. But yeah, this is America right now. But for some reason, we need help from Mexico. Okay, sure. This is a publicity stunt. I really don't think they're really going to be doing that much over there. I mean, let's be honest. Okay, we have so many other firefighters all over the place in this country that were willing and able to help, and they were told no. So, yeah. Okay. So meanwhile, as New Yorkers, we're getting to this really quick. Oh, I gotta... Hold on, here we go. So we have a super chat over here, if I can... Okay, Chester Wolf. Gavin Newsom literally started laughing when they said there was no water. These people are sick satanic demons. This is all done on purpose. Thank you for the super chat, classic. Well, yeah, I'm sorry, Chester Wolf. Yeah, that's the thing. It's just so terrible that you wonder if it's done on purpose. Okay? Now, I think there is some purpose in terms of, yeah, you don't have, let me see, where was it? This is not natural where you have 3 different fires, and these valleys are pretty far apart. Okay? This is not a hop, skip, and a jump away. Okay? From point over here to this point over here, you're talking about a good 45-minute drive. Okay? Embers don't just jump like this and start like that. So, if this is what it was, very possible that it could have been started by... Now, I know people talking about the direct energy weapons, like what happened in Lahaina and all that sort of stuff. I get it. You don't really need that much to start a fire, let's be honest. Okay? You give somebody who's high on meth, you give him a whole bottle of kerosene and some matches, he's going to do a lot of damage. Give him some creatine and hop him up on like 400 milligrams of caffeine. He's going to do a lot of damage. Okay? It doesn't take that much to start a fire. It doesn't. Okay? I get the whole thing with direct energy weapons. Yeah, those things exist. How much of it went on and how many houses with blue roofs, all that sort of stuff, I don't know. We're never going to know at this rate. A complete, absolute, honest way of it. But anyway, let's go back to what I was talking about over here. So back from one coast to another. We're going all over the place over here, guys. Okay, and then we'll open up the phone lines really soon, in about 5 minutes. But yeah, for those of you in New York who now need to or have to take the subway now because of congestion pricing, this is the unfortunate scenes you have to see on the MTA. Yeah, by the way, there's a snake there. A boa constrictor, and it's, let's be honest, they'll really do much of anything, but still, I don't like snakes. Squirrel. Oh, man. Okay, that's like the least thing you have to worry about. And it's probably a dude. Okay. They're not trying to stab me, at least. Okay, and for those of you... this is the thing. I know whenever we've seen any sort of video of the Tokyo subway where they have the station attendants with the white gloves and the hats pushing people in, and people say, oh, that's crazy, there's so many people here. Yeah, well, there's so many people in New York, and guess what? It'd be nice if somebody were to just give them a light shove just to get them in there, ever so nicely. But anyway, yeah, this is crazy. Now let's go back down to South Florida. Whoa! This is the problem, guys. We're just... It's one thing, again, we can... look, and I get it. People say, well, we need to put road we need grade separation and all that sort of stuff. I get it. There are places that actually have done grade separation, like up at near US 1 and Ivesdale Road in Aventura. They've completely grade separated the entire road off and away from the railroad. Perfectly fine. There's no more accidents over there anymore. Now, the problem is that in South Florida, you have a lot of impatient people. I'm not going to go too much into the psyche of the average South Floridian. But this is more common than any other part of the United States.
Whoa!
Was it worth it? Was it really worth it, Mr. Prius, to do that? There needs to be there needs to be actual felonies, not just misdemeanors for reckless driving or anything like that. I mean, like real hard jail time. Okay, and then people will stop doing it. Unfortunately, it has to get to a point where you have to have law set in, and you really have to come in with a big stick and really tell people that's enough. But I mean, hey, what else can our government do? We say one thing, we vote for one thing, and they do the exact opposite, right? This is just nuts. But it's what's going on now, guys. It's unbelievable. Let me see if I can go any more through this. Yeah, I think we've gone through most of this. By the way, this is a random one I guess had. Most on-time airlines in 2024. Mexico, funny enough, has an 86.7% on-time arrival. But look at Delta. For 1.7 million flights, 83.5%. I wonder where Spirit Airlines is in that. It's probably like all the way past and beyond the bottom, but anyway. There you go. If you're so interested in seeing which flights are most on time, maybe go on Aeromexico, Saudi, Delta, LATAM, Qatar, Azul, Avianca, Iberia, SAS, United Airlines. There you are. Oh, man. Yeah, okay, we're not going to see that again. Yeah, and it gets worse. Fact checkers have been falsely claiming LA Mayor Bass didn't cut the LA Fire Department's budget, now alerting that she actually demanded the LAFD cut another $49 million from its budget. Yeah. I think they probably needed that. I think they needed access to all the water and everything else, so this didn't happen. But anyway, this is just crazy. Okay. I think we've gone through most of it here. Yeah. All right, guys. Let's start bringing everybody on. Let's see. All right. Let's bring on David. There we are. Yeah, things are getting strange, Al.
You doing good, bud?
Hey, man. How's it going? Doing all right. I'm here.
Well, we got some good news. You dropped it. You're welcome. We got some good news. California finally putting the rails down.
I mean, does this really count as a railroad? I mean,
well,
this looks like they asked, like, hey, Union Pacific, do you have something in your basement that we can just have for a photo prop? And they're like, sure. And they just threw that at them. I mean, it's a rusty. Look at it. The rails are rusty. The ties are wooden. I don't think this is actually real. This is just a photo prop.
I agree, but if they are doing it and they're finally doing it, it took them over 10 years. 10 freaking years before they're finally putting rails down, you know?
It'll be another 10 years before they actually start running trains on it, I guess, at this rate.
I agree, but also got them good news is that Amtrak's doing an extension on Long Island.
Yeah, I heard that they were thinking about that, or is it actually happening?
We got an article right here. I just sent it in the live chat.
Yeah, that I did see on Twitter, and I was thinking of sharing that, but yeah, here we go. Let's see if I can put that up. Yeah, Dumb Trucker says it was a photo promotion. Yeah, that definitely was. I mean, it's still. Here, Amtrak coming to. I could never say this all the time. Ronkonkoma, LIRR station.
That good news right there. That's very good news.
Yeah, that helps to connect people in there. I mean, heck, I mean, you could have taken LIRR into there, but at least on Amtrak now you don't have to get off and transfer through different trains.
Oh, by the way, I did put a meme in the community chat.
Okay, let me see where it is.
Scroll up, you'll see it.
I'm looking. Oh, here we are. Yeah. Let's see if I can open in browser. Okay, this has nothing to do with anything we're talking about, but yeah, that's funny. Do not use Blade to open. Oh,
okay,
man.
but I will bring it up. We do have a mental health problem in the country, because here another meme that is from someone that needs to be put in a mental hospital.
Most of our politicians?
I know, but you know Metra?
Yeah.
There is a girl that thinks she is in a relationship with a locomotive called Metra 210, you know?
Oh, boy. Okay.
I just sent you the meme of it. I just sent you the meme.
Okay, this is even weird for us right here over here. It's like I know most of us are all foamers on here and are on some end of the spectrum, but this is too much even for me.
Yeah, like literally.
Yeah, so I guess it's probably one of the other genders, guys. This is the train sexuals over here. There you go. Apologies that for those of you who had to be subject to that, but yeah. Look, there's one thing to love trains, and there's another thing to love trains. But anyway.
But the one thing I'm hoping for is that rail projects get off the ground this year, and it looks like a lot of rail projects are going to be getting off the ground.
If they get there, I mean, I'm kind of worried about a whole bunch of stuff that's burning down in California, because there's a whole lot of history there. Like I was gonna go to the Steamers Railroad Museum that they had there on the other side of Griffith Park, but never got the chance to. There's just so much to do in too little time. But I mean, there's fires burning pretty close to there, so I'm like, I hope they don't. You know, those are some of those 120-year-old steam trains. I hope they don't burn it down. That would be a shame. But yeah, that's the problem. It's like we really need to have been building up at least 10 years ago, at least. But this is just nuts. What's going on all over the place, man.
Well, we also got them good news that the new Siemens plant is supposed to start building, or should be opened up this year in North Carolina.
There we go. That's something. It's more jobs for people.
Like that is good, and plus the Crescent and the Carolinian are probably going to be getting some trains from it, new trains. Also, CPKCS have something that they're doing January 29th of this year. And I just sent it from Twitter. I just sent it in the community chat.
Just got it. CPKC to report fourth quarter and full year 2024 financial and operating results on January 29, 2025. Okay, there we go.
Now that's going to be interesting.
All right.
That for sure.
Let's give that a like there. Keep on track with that.
But let me be honest, we got a ton of anti-rail people still that are running the country, you know?
I would say it's anti-rail to the point that they've never really been on a train or didn't have the environment where transit was a big thing. That's the problem with the United States, is that we have been so inundated with automobile culture to the point that, like, what you put on the somebody put on the general chat about a school that doesn't want to rename their high school about after their railroad history. It's like, what are they gonna name it? Suburban Jerkweed High or whatever it is. But what did I write there? But that's a little ridiculous.
It's just so messed up. But here also, it only took 10 years to brainwash the people into thinking that the cars owned the street. You know, it only took 10 years back in the 1930s to do that. You know.
Yeah,
Like,
I would say it was closer. I would say more into the 50s. That's really changed things because it was after the 1940s. The railroads were completely battered to the point that they needed to after World War II, from basically the government using the same thing like what happened in World War One. The government went ahead and nationalized the railroads, or basically used them to go ahead and get across a whole bunch of heavy equipment from one side of the country to the other. They didn't pay for the repairs for the railroads, so you had railroads that were in the red, operating in the red, because they had to spend all this money to repair the railroads that the government went ahead and used, and never made it back.
And let not forget that the Interstate Commerce Commission, or the ICC, which thank God they don't exist anymore. Rest in piss, not FR, but you know I'm bitter about the Interstate Commerce Commission because of how crooked they got.
Yeah.
But rest in piss is what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But here, seeing the not the FRA, because they're still new, but the ICC restricted the railroads so hard they could not compete. Let not forget that was one of the reasons why passenger rail floundered in the 50s through the 70s.
Yeah, it was not. That was not no sort of free market environment for the railroads to operate in. That was the problem. The winners and losers were picked by the U.S. government, and now look at where we are.
Mm-hmm. And here, Jane, the railroads are still regulated. Reason why all the crap is happening is that the railroads are still regulated in a way that it is so bad.
Yeah.
That it's not good. Then you also have the government, you talked about in the 50s, literally taking money from the railroads, which was still reeling after the Second World War, and giving it to the competition tax-free.
Yeah, we need to revisit that for sure on a certain video. Marty Flowers just went ahead. While I was gone for a while, was the insurance declining fire insurance that people mentioned. No, we didn't mention it, but we'll mention it now. So did you hear about State Farm? I believe it was State Farm. They dropped a whole bunch of fire coverage. And again, look, we're not a fan of what insurance companies happen, and I'm pretty sure there's a Nintendo character waiting in the wings to hear about insurance CEOs. But to State Farm's credit, and let's be fair, I wouldn't say credit, I would say let's be fair. The state government of California did not put in any sort of effort to mitigate the risks of any sort of wildfires that would have just conflagrated and just completely burned down everything, because they didn't do anything. And we do this in Florida. It's called a controlled burn. California used to do controlled burns in order to just go ahead and do different sections, because some places, and it is part of nature, you need to have burning of wilderness in order to refresh the soil, in order to propagate seeds. This happens. Now, unfortunately, California is also plagued with a whole bunch of Australian eucalyptus. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Not at all native to California. When they started coming into LA in droves, they loved these trees because they grew quickly. They acclimated pretty well to the California arid environment. The problem with they're super invasive. The problem with the eucalyptus tree is that it loves to burn up in flames. It just bursts up into flames because that's the only way they can really, propagate its seeds. That's part of its function. Unfortunately, when you have this all over the place, and it's a pretty dry environment. I mean, I've been there. When you're flying on the plane to Los Angeles, the Mojave Desert is right there. It literally just goes from desert, mountain, suburb, just endless concrete. It's right. It's built on a desert. It's a desert, dry environment. There was not a cloud in the sky while I was there. I mean, beautiful place, but I mean, it's
Now, I will say this, what I was trying to say earlier, is that, before we forget, is that with all the stuff that is going on right now, we need some good rail news, that for sure. Also, Utah Transit Authority with their light rail made their 25-year anniversary.
There you go.
This month.
All right, so that's some good news.
And also, CPKC is testing their hydrogen locomotive and planning to buy more. So, if they're planning to buy more, that means it was a success. If I'm right.
Yeah, that's good. If they're expanding, I mean that's got to be some good news. Hopefully, so yeah.
Because,
All right, let's
but
bring
let
in
me,
let's bring in some more people over here. Let's bring in Minor Tree.
I want to update you on something else too. Is that you remember what happened in North Carolina a couple months ago? I did talk to a friend of mine today who in the National Guard who went up there. They're getting ready to head back up there in 2 weeks.
Huh.
They are still finding bodies. They're still finding bodies left and right.
Yeah, no, it's just
it's 290 now.
There's got to be more because there's just so many. What's the official missing count? I think it was somewhere in like the several thousands of people who are missing still.
About 200 still missing.
200 still missing. Yeah, they're at this point. They're most unfortunately they're probably dead. At this point,
yeah.
there's just no way.
Yeah, at this point they're dead.
Yeah.
Like it's not a rescue anymore. It's a straight up recovery.
Yeah.
You know,
it's terrible. It honestly is. All right, Minor Tree is on. Let's give Minor Tree some breathing room over here. What's up, man?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, man. How's it going?
Yeah, being one of the few people in the Discord and basically on the channel as well of actually being trained in both structural and wildland firefighting.
Oh, nice, man.
I have an idea of what they're going through better than most people, but once you realize that those normal fires that go through that area happen every 20 to 25 years.
Yeah.
But when you are right in regulation that there's going to be no fires whatsoever, and you create a mascot on telling you that only you can stop wildfires, and you hit that home for decades upon decades upon decades. Well, if you look at the government fire numbers, it's like 10 million plus acres, 12 million, and then it just falls off a cliff by 90% down to only like 1.1 to 1.2 million. And that happened back in the 60s. So you'd think, oh, great. But once the fires do come, there's more fuel to the flames. So they burn a lot hotter. And what does that do? It scorches the ground so much that it's harder for stuff to regrow. And you put homes and businesses and new settlements in the fire-prone areas. So what happens?
More fuel.
Yep.
More fuel to the fire and more people in harm's way.
It's a bigger disaster than just letting it be sometimes.
Yeah, and the worst part about it is, yes, you can do prescribed burns, and it's actually recommended to do it every now and then.
Yeah.
But the problem is you have to, A, know what you're doing, B, plan it really well, and C, it's probably good to have the fire department do it, if not help you. But
here, wildland fire control here in South Carolina too. Like they do that here too.
Yeah, and probably the best way of going about it is do what Armando Bukele Ortiz did when he became president of El Salvador. He basically just got rid of all of the cartels and criminals, and then he went, all right, we're going to have a cleanup of all corruption in my government. And he basically sat down all the ministers that answered directly to him, and he's like, you see over there? That's the guy who's going to be running a full sweep on everyone, including myself. No one is immune. If he finds any corruption, that person will be arrested. And guess what? Only one member of his cabinet was found corrupt. So it's like, all right, Trump, if you do the same, I won't stop you. And it's like, if you're found incompetent, congratulations. You can either turn in your resignation or you can be fired. If you're corrupt, we'll just throw you in jail. And you can decide to work off all your corruption charges.
Yeah, it's crazy. The whole thing about Bukele and what he's done for El Salvador is that works as a blueprint to say, okay, we can do something similar over here to the United States. If they can do it in El Salvador, which was an even probably in terms of just in per capita, is probably more corrupt than the United States has been. And it's a lot of Latin America. But if he was able to turn that around and get that going to now, it's probably one of the safest countries in all the Americas. That's something to say, hey, it's possible. It's not that we have no hope in this country. You can do it. It's just a matter of political will. And like, are you willing to sacrifice and possibly be? And Trump has been shot at. We all saw it live. So at this point, you can do it. If you really wanted to do it, he can do it. That's what it shows.
And what's the crazy thing is, one of my mentors in my business, he actually left El Salvador with his family because of how crazy things were going there. And he talked about how beautiful the place was, but how dangerous it was. And he ended up moving over into the LA area. Well, closer to Lancaster, but that's besides the point. But it's like, yes, I want to go back and see my place where I grew up in. It's like, you just feel that pain. It's like, all right, you have a multi-millionaire in another country because you could not get your own own house in order. It's like, all right, how many times has that happened around the world? And it's like, you're ruining your country because you're not willing to deal with the problems you have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I see Richard King's thing on Javier Milei down in Argentina as well. It's like, hey, we have the highest levels of inflation. Oh, let's take that to new levels every single year. And Milei is like, you know what? No, we're just going to get rid of as many things as possible and get everything under control.
Yeah, how
and he
about not?
gets everything under control. And I think it was 3 weeks.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It can be done here. We can do it here in this country. We can't look. We have all the money. We just sent how many billions of dollars now again to Israel? Look, we could have built California high-speed rail 20 times over in the money that we've sent in probably just the past year or two. This is insane and ridiculous. It has nothing to do with funding. It has to do with political will.
We could have basically gone over to, pick a country. The UK, France, Spain, Germany. We can go into South Korea. We could have gone to Japan. It's like, all right, we will hire one of your middle management people, somebody that is great, but probably won't be getting a promotion in the next 3 to 5 years. And it's like, we'll pay you even more to come to our country and run our projects and get them to be as efficient as you do it. And we can build out the system faster, cheaper, and more efficiently.
Yeah, which is what Texas was going to do until it's starting to come back. Let's see how that goes. But yeah, I agree with you. Lex Burren in the comments saying 17 people watching, only 3 likes. Yeah, if you guys are watching on YouTube right now, press the like. Go ahead, press the like button on there. Help us out with the YouTube algorithm. I hate saying that. I hate hearing in videos, but help us out over here. It's the only way we can really start getting in. Yeah, we'll get into everybody's input over here. Let's keep going. Dump Trucker and then ACB. We'll bring them all in. David, you got something in the background in your mic there.
To my mom's mic.
I'll take it to your mom's.
Because my coworker
Alrighty.
tonight.
All right. Hey, Dump Trucker, how's it going?
Oh, not too bad. How are you?
Doing all right, man. Doing all right.
Oh, so I can't get California fires. Simply put, there was just a lot of government mistakes. A few years ago, they decided to stop getting rid of the brush that burns. They decided to stop getting rid of that, and now look at the consequence. A lot bigger fires.
Yeah, like what Minor Tree was saying, now all that fuel that you have to that fire just built up over years and years of not having it controlled, and now it's just a ridiculous amount of fires everywhere that it's uncontrollable.
Mm-hmm. California has reservoirs. They just refuse to fill them.
Yeah.
There was one reservoir. It's got barely any water in it, but it's closed because of some maintenance construction. There was a guy there. There was a video I probably can't find it now, but the guy was there. It was closed because of construction. There was no construction equipment anywhere to be seen.
Yeah, and
They're just
I
pretty much
honestly,
abandoning it.
this
Oh, yeah.
whole thing about that other, I believe it was a reservoir that they were going to build, but then they did not because of quote unquote the Delta smelt. I don't believe that. That's more of a red herring, pun intended. I don't think it had anything to do with some sort of Delta smelt or anything like that. They'll go ahead and find some sort of animal or species or whatever that is like anywhere closer there, and they'll just say, "Oh, yeah, it just endangers that." No, it doesn't. No, it
And the
doesn't.
worst part, and the worst part is that type of delta smelt is technically an invasive species to California.
Yeah, that was the other thing. It's not even endemic to the area. So I mean, why would I even say it? Jim Love saying, "Will they have mudslides now?" Yeah, that's what happens because all those trees now they have deep burns within the roots, and again, you have all those hills and mountains all over the place. So now, come when it rains, those roots that were holding in all that dirt and everything else there, not anymore. Now you're just gonna have mudslides that are gonna come down and finish the rest of the job. I mean, it's nuts. Oh, and then somebody else was talking about there was an earthquake in San Francisco, but now there was some sort of alert that there's a higher chance of an earthquake in the Los Angeles area. I mean, it's one thing after another. I mean, this year just can't. Oh man, this is just nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, when it comes to fires, two things go uphill faster than downhill, and that's bears and fires. And then once you realize that most of LA area has massive hills around the basin, you can watch the entire ring of that basin get burned to the ground if you're not careful.
Yeah.
With parts of the downtown remaining untouched the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
you were saying, man? Dump truck, are you there?
yeah, I'm there.
Okay. Did you have anything else to say, or was it just background noise?
Basically, well, I know you didn't really want to dig conspiracy theories, but I've heard they want to build a city of the future in California, and it's kind of where the burning is happening. Is kind of where they probably want to put it. Look at the
dump trucker. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's just you're noticing too much.
Oh, true.
Here's the thing.
It's called pattern recognition.
The crazy thing is, even if they wanted to build it, really, the same government that can't even build a high-speed rail, yeah, they're going to build a 15-minute city. Yeah, okay, sure, whatever. All right.
Yeah.
No,
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
It's the problem when you have government officials that are either so old that they hate the rail even though they don't do it, or you got politicians that are so anti-car it's hard to stay quiet about it, and you got those two groups fighting each other at the same time, and I'm like, you morons of the highest order. If your IQ was any lower, we'd wonder if you were fighting Fahrenheit for absolute freezing.
Hey,
yeah.
Hear me? Can y'all?
Yep, loud and clear, man.
Yep.
All right, I just sent another article talking about electrification in California. It's a plan for 2050.
All right, let me bring that up as well. And in the meantime, let me bring on ACB as well while I get that article going.
Yeah, ACB wished to talk a few minutes ago.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, guys.
What's up, man?
Man. All right. Damn. California. Jeez.
I know. It's crazy and it's sad. And it's like, I get it, but like, after just being there, it's just awful just to see this happening, man.
The worst of bureaucracy and environmental regulation cranked up to 1,000-fold.
Yeah.
That for sure.
Don't blame the bureaucracy for the administrative job.
I know.
And don't forget to pay the grift.
Yes, the Green New scam. My thing is, you also don't want the big one to hit. Then you're really screwed. If you're trying to rebuild from the
Yeah,
fires.
and
Those
at
were
that point, this
completely
this would be so much perfect timing. It's like, okay, maybe maybe they are activating some sort of weapons or something. I don't know at that rate. I mean, that would be too
or
much.
the chaos card.
Yeah. I mean, that would be a lot to go into, and for some reason my desktop is now not wanting to work. Okay, can you guys still hear me? Uh-oh. Okay, guys, I don't know what just happened here, but desktop just blew out for some reason. Okay, we're still streaming. Hold on, everybody on Discord, I'll get us right back on. I don't know why it just died, but that's just weird. Okay, I'm getting back. Don't worry. Okay. Discord. At some point, I do need to upgrade. Speaking of things that need to be upgraded, it's not just the infrastructure, but also my workstation as well. I've been using the same laptop since 2016. I think it's time to to get that moving at some point. Yeah. There we are. 16 likes in the live stream. There we go, guys. All right, that's good. In the meantime, yeah, Shock 2957 with 1999. For only $19.99, you can give us a super chat. Thank you, man. Awesome. There used to also be orchards in many of these areas that would act as fire break, but the cities drove the farmers out. Oh, yeah, orchards, apple orchards. Yeah, because those would be properly watered, so they wouldn't be bursting into flames if you had apple orchards. Yeah, that's true. Man, it's just terrible what's going on, guys. It really is. Let me see if I can like to these and hearts to these and this and that. There we go. Okay. I don't know why my stuff doesn't want to work now, but okay. Let's get back onto here.
Or you all
right.
Watch as the old system goes dead in pick a time, 2 to 3 years.
I'm back. I don't know what happened, but I'm back.
Oh,
what happened to me?
Yeah, you got kicked out of your own stream.
Yeah, it just died. Discord just died on me. I think I don't know, I'm maxed out on RAM over here. I have a billion tabs open, OBS running.
Close a few tabs.
Yeah,
I would probably do.
committed.
Yeah, at some point I'm gonna have to upgrade my station, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, we'll get to that at some point. But anyway,
in due time.
Yeah, it'll happen.
But I will say this, that we should be talking about the article that ISIS sent, and it's talking about electrification.
Oh, I've seen that. Oh my god, they should have done that and incremental improvements to the right of way and slowly staged in new alignment, unlike what they're trying to do now. They should have done it to begin with.
Yeah.
They won't.
This should have been done years ago.
Yeah, well, I'm getting that. By the way, I have on the screen right here. This was footage when I was on Santa Monica Pier. And you'll see, again, beautiful place. But yeah, all
the
that,
ocean.
Yeah, this is in October, late October. But yeah, all this stuff that you're going to see up north over here, you'll see Malibu. That's all gone. Completely. This is all gone over here. Gone. Burnt up. No more.
Good luck getting approval rebuilding. I mean, Adam Carolla went into a rant about that.
Yeah,
but he's not lying.
Yeah, that's the sad part, is that all those those are a lot of historic homes too. That you can't build them like that anymore. It's literally that they're built differently.
No, you can't.
And
the worst.
It's sad.
And the worst part about it is there's been homes in different parts of California that have burned to the ground in previous fires that have yet to even start rebuilding from years past.
Yeah.
And you think you're gonna rebuild it in LA, which has additional layers of red tape and bureaucracy on top of California?
No.
Good luck in getting this construction started this decade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Yeah, there's just stuff you're never gonna get again. Like the Will Rogers Ranch, that's never gonna be rebuilt the same way ever again.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's. And that was the one thing I was missing on the trip. I was like right there in Santa Monica. It's like, do I have enough time to get up there? It's like, I'm running late. You know what? Maybe for next time. But yeah, now I'm never gonna be able to see it now. Thanks, Newsom. Thanks.
Well, if you go right now, you can see the charred remains from the road.
I don't want to see that. Oh man. Hey, at
That's
least
a real damn shame.
at least I can get to see the one near Oklahoma. But hey, whatever. It's what it is. That sucks, man. Okay, I can't see it on trains.com because it's paywalled. Does anybody have a non-paywall version of this article, or am I gonna have to go to?
Try to URL, like copy the URL.
Oh, that's what I'm already doing. Yeah, I'm on archive already, and that's there we
today.
go. 3 days ago. Thank you, whoever put that in 3 days ago. There we go.
I did something like that too.
Thank you. Okay, so here we go.
But yeah.
California Rail Plan calls for $310 billion program to expand electrification passenger service. And this is all the way, all over the place here. From San Francisco all the way to San Diego. Wow. Roseville, Sacramento, all the way down. Okay. Interesting.
They should have done that to begin with instead of this massive project they're undertaking with it.
By 2050?
Jesus Christ.
What?
Okay, hold on. Once you look at the numbers, they can electrify the entire system in less than 2 years if they wanted to. Probably less than a year if they really tried.
And straighten the alignments out in places, and also, I hate to break it to the folks who like the coastal view of the Surfliner, but you do need to build a bypass route that's a little bit further inland and underground.
No, you do need that. And I honestly, having the high-speed rail system over there, or having something along the same corridor of the high-speed rail system that goes more inland, that cuts through from LA to San Diego, would be feasible. But yeah, let's see. Okay, so near-term plan, regional intercity services in Southern California. Transition from peak period service to regular all day, blah blah. First hydrogen train set, new regional service to connect the San Joaquin to Sacramento, midterm plan 10-year, and the long-term plan to 2050. I mean, I'm glad that they're looking out that far up to 2050, but guys, you haven't finished the high-speed rail plan. The original one.
We haven't.
Why are we doing this?
Hydrogen as a train unit is not a bad idea. It's just not optimal.
Yeah, it's like at that point,
the current technology.
Yeah, you're taking hydrogen to go ahead and convert it into electricity, and it's running already through an EMU. So you might as well at that point just skip all that and just have a fully electrical unit, and it'll be quicker, cleaner, and cheaper to do.
Well, even if it's green hydrogen and it's running at peak optimal efficiency, you're already at 67% efficiency once you turn the water into the hydrogen for step one. Once you do the switch back to electricity via a hydrogen fuel cell, you're talking at best 55 to 60% efficiency instead of the 90+% efficiency when it comes to just direct create electricity and send it via the lines and down into the electric train.
Let's bring on everybody
else. At that point, you might as well do overhead line equipment.
Yeah, the overhead line equipment.
The hydrogen.
The overhead line equipment basically gets it 95+%. The battery electric units, you're probably at best 90%.
All right, I just brought everybody else.
Adding more weight to the vehicle.
Everybody else has been added onto the stream, so there we are. This camera's a little bit lopsided. There we go.
Like, that's what they should have done instead of the current plan. Piecemeal. Straighten out and build new alignments when the demand calls for it.
The problem with building new alignments is that you have to get approval from the government. And if they say no, you're pretty much toast. But you don't have to worry too much. See, the coastline hasn't moved. The coastline has not moved. The ground isn't going away. It's been the same thing for years.
Yeah. Just the fact of the matter is, they should have gone with this phased approach. Not saying to completely cancel out the freight railroads. We should have at least better negotiate with them, because it not just benefits us, but it benefits them too. We build them more tracks, and we also build more tracks for ourselves. And what a lot of the urbanist crowd and a lot of the people that don't understand the the intricacies of organization and planning is constantly throwing money at a project is not going to solve the end goal. You also have to have optimal organization and keep an eye on funds so you don't run into a California HSR problem
Bingo.
that you have right now. It's down to organization and proper planning.
Yeah, there's a lot more nuance into the politics of actually building, of building and operating and everything else around it, because it's not just, oh, train cool. No, there's a whole lot of everything else around it that goes into it. It's the same thing, like
moving parts.
Yeah, it's like what's going on over at the MTA. Again, yeah, you have riding the subway is great and all when it works, and it does work most of the time. The problem is why people don't want to go on the subway is that they feel unsafe. So you fail to
They brought in the National Guard for the subways.
But it's only for show at certain stations. They're not patrolling trains across the entire system.
It's only when Hulk pops up so she can shake their
Really?
hands, and then she can run out the subway the minute the cameras stop rolling. I guarantee you, like the minute, like, okay, and cut, she just ran out of there. I guarantee it.
Yeah, and she's mostly in a SUV with a security detail.
Yeah,
Even
exactly.
when she was on the subway for those photo ops,
Yeah.
she's got a security detail.
I mean, we all
She ain't
remember
walking around
when
with
Hillary went on the subway during her campaign. When that was almost 9 years ago now. But yeah, she was trying to get the pass to swipe, and she couldn't even swipe it in half the time. Somebody else had to swipe it in after like 30 attempts for her to get it done. I know I'm exaggerating that, but yeah, she couldn't even get it done. Somebody in the comments, Lex Burren, we have hydrogen trains in the Netherlands from Stadler and non-electrified lines, and they are great. Might want to take a look at it. They are Stadler flirts, I believe. Yeah, look, it's great when you already have
work in some cases.
Yeah, it does work, and there are cases for it that it works. But yeah, the Netherlands is already a really robust and built-out rail system. We're not even close to that yet.
We're not even
mostly devoted to freight.
Well, it's that awkward moment when you realize that you have the best freight railroad system in the world, and almost everyone agrees it's underutilized and vastly mismanaged.
Yeah.
And we're just asking to have it on the same level of the best passenger railroads in the world, on top of building out the best passenger railroad system, plus building out the best high-speed system in the world.
Yeah.
And if we did that, there'd be no contest.
Yeah, just ask East Palestine about that.
Yeah, East Palestine, they're still trying to get themselves back together after that derailment. And yes, Norfolk Southern needs to be held accountable.
No, they should. They
need to
absolutely
be held accountable.
Absolutely should.
It's that, but you're also having to realize that, hey, we don't want monopolies, duopolies, or oligarchies going on. But it's like, all right, but if you overregulate and overtax entire industries, you create monopolies, duopolies, oligarchies, because those are the only companies that can compete.
There needs to be a balance struck.
Yeah, it's like, all right, do the same regulations that the freight truckers have or the airlines have, and then all of a sudden it's like you have true competition. It's like, all right, I need you to take this load of widgets from here to pick a place. If there's only one company, then
you
it's
do not want truck regulations for any other else. Truck regulations are kind of stupid, personally, I think.
yeah, but you can own and operate your own individual truck. You can't do the same with the railroad right now.
No.
You know how
Not
much,
at this
you want to
time.
know how much money that costs per year? Billions, millions.
But GM side,
Yeah, a brand new truck right now. The starter unit is about $250,000. A brand new diesel electric train is about $600,000. If you go to Europe and get a new all electric unit, it starts at around $2 million. I've done the research, but all of a sudden it's like, all right, that sounds expensive. All right, just buy a used one, refurbish it, and you got it for $1 million. All right, so you and 3 of your buddies put in $250,000 each versus a single truck. now that same train can move over, let's say, 50 double stack containers. So you're moving 100 containers versus 4 in your separate trucks. Can you tell me how you can compete with that?
No, you can't,
Yeah.
but
The issue and the problem comes down to the road system is a national system, and really nobody really owns it. Or you can pay some tolls here and there, but you can just take a truck more or less and go on. And of course, you have to get a CDL and all that sort of stuff. But I mean, come on, there's a whole lot of people right now out there without CDLs that are owning and operating trucks, and they're getting caught day by day now at this rate because they're just all over the
accidents.
place. Yeah.
And
don't get me started with that.
That's the problem, is that when it comes to the railroad industry, there are so many redundant and pretty archaic laws that have followed over into the railroad industry that make it near impossible for what should be such a lucrative and rewarding industry within the United States. You can't just enter in there if you had, let's say, several $1 million of seed money, and just go in there. No, that's why so many bright and brilliant people just go into just making software all the time, and another SaaS software. Like, we need more SaaS software or anything like that. We're not building anything real anymore because of that. All those regulations.
Dimitri, I gotta get ready to go.
The older stuff.
What's up, David?
I gotta get ready to go in about 5 minutes. I'm about to head home.
Alrighty, no worries, man. Appreciate you having on. Thank you.
But before I go, like, the one thing that it finally happened in this year, like we talked about it in 2024, is the availability.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I'm gonna wait. I will pop the champagne once it's actually running. That's the thing. They say this almost every year, and then it doesn't happen. So when it happens, we'll pop the champagne for that.
But will the availability retain its custom paint job?
Yeah, but I'm keeping the best champagne for my wedding though later this year. Okay, not for the Availio. So that's the best champagne is for me and Catherine. So anyway, all right, David, thank you for coming on, man.
When is your wedding?
May 2nd.
I won't be able to make it.
It's okay, man. I'm sorry.
Oh crap! That's 4 days before my birthday. Holy crap!
Oh, happy very early birthday! But yeah, I'll put out some more information and everything for you guys. But anyway, all right. Thank you for coming on, David.
But you have a good night, guys.
You too. You
too.
See you.
Yep. Bye.
All right. We got Grand Trunk Line and Star Force and Renault wants to speak. Let's let Grand Trunk Line go on first.
That was an awful morning.
Oh man, what's going on, man?
when I saw that Trains magazine article, I was ready to pop a gasket.
Wait, which article?
The one in parents complaining about the high school name.
Oh yeah, no, that's ridiculous. I mean, look, the high school name sounds cool. What's wrong? What's wrong with that? Let me see. The Iron Horse and Thunder. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what are they gonna name it? Like another dumbass suburb high school, and the team's gonna be known as the Suburban Fat Bodies. Okay, that is that gonna reflect that? No, that's silly. Let's aim for something higher. It's silly. Because it doesn't reflect the community.
Iron Horse sounds better.
Yeah, Iron Horse sounds freaking awesome, and the Thunder. I mean, come on. That's cool.
They're not fat. They're just big boned.
That's nuts. Yeah, Iron Horse. Yeah, everybody agrees. Marty Flowers agrees. Iron Horse High School. Marty Flowers is the arbiter for everything that's cool, so he agrees. We're Iron Horse High School is what it stays. Yeah, that's nuts. Why would they want to change that?
Oh, because it's linked to some kind of ism, and it offends our sensibilities. I mean, I'm not going to go into that, but those people.
Say that again. I need to work up my backhand really fast.
Oh, man.
A repeated backhand to the face.
Yeah, so for those of you who are just listening in and have absolutely no clue what we're talking about, so there's a school in Utah in Wasatch County They're seeking to overturn the decision to rename a new high school to reflect the area's railroading heritage. So the county school board decided that the name would be the Iron Horse High School and the athletic team would be known as the Thunder, but the parents are complaining that doesn't reflect the community, which is ridiculous. Okay, we're not gonna rename it anything George Washington anymore because he's been dead for 250 years, so it doesn't reflect the area anymore. That's such a stupid non sequitur argument. It's just nuts.
That's a low ball
Yeah.
argument. It's low hanging fruit.
Yeah, low hanging fruit and just low intelligence and just aim for something higher and just reflect your history and heritage are so important and you just throw that away.
And the school looks like a station.
That's the worst thing
Why would you
is.
not want to name it?
Yeah.
Wait, the high school looks like a rail station?
Yeah, it actually does, or at least the rendering of it here. It actually for modern high schools, and I will say this, most modern high schools and schools that I've seen all over the place, they all look like prisons. Mainly because the designers are prison infrastructure designers. But this school actually doesn't look half bad. It actually looks pretty cool. Now, if Archive would load it, I would gladly show you. I'll have it on there, but I'm just still waiting for this to go. But anyways, Star Force Renell, you guys are here too. If you guys want to say anything, feel free to.
It looks like a train station. Like I'm looking at the interior.
Does anyone remember the playmat with the city and the road?
Oh yeah, I remember those. Those were fun, man.
I remember too.
Yeah. Too bad it's out. It's kind of an outdated thing now because it just reflects how car centric our communities were back then, and especially now.
We're so car centric that they just that parents are complaining.
Okay, so here's what they're saying: an online petition signed by more than 700 people. Maybe those 700 people can do more to sign the change petition to get rid of Karen Bass. But anyway,
agreed.
Yeah, let's. Oh man, now I just lost it. Where the heck did it go?
And I bet you they're all a bunch of Karens.
Probably. Here we go. Okay. Arguing that Iron Horse and Thunder do not resonate with our community, nor do these symbols embody the excitement, loyalty, and shared pride that weave together the fabric of our community. We want a name and mascot that we can all be proud of. It's Iron Horse. How badass does that
you
sound?
You have a railroad heritage too. Come on.
I have a conversation with those parents and just absolutely unloaded them.
Look, and they already built it to look like a railroad station. I mean, what else are they going to call it now? I mean, even let's see. At least one board member stands by the choice. We built a $160 million train station. That's a lot for a school, though. We have to honor that. Everything else is contradictory to that. School board president Tyler Blue told the park.
Better than most modern high schools.
Yeah, I mean that's cool.
Yeah, but never in their life have they ever been accused of being intelligent.
No, I'm gonna bet. I know. I'm gonna bet that parents got really mad when they said that, and probably absolutely screamed at them. Like, how dare you say that?
Okay, yeah. Let me help out over here. I think Renell's saying he has mic access. Let me see what's going on with Renell. Oh, there we are. Let me fix you. Let me help you up here, Renell. That's weird. No, I think unmute your mic, man. I think it's on mute because I don't have it. Yeah, it's not on mute here, so you're fine.
You gotta hit the mic button on your end.
In the meantime, Star Force, anything you want to add onto there? What's up, man?
Yeah, but so basically, as far going back to the whole road playmat thing, it's definitely there's no shame in having a hobby for cars at all.
No,
we all know how cool cars are. It's just the way we prioritize car infrastructure and having to get around by car is not in the best interest of the public in general. If you absolutely want to drive a car, that's fine. But if it's to the point where absolutely everyone has to drive a car to get anywhere, when you could easily for places that are easily are walking distance or you can easily take a train to, that has to be, that's an old way of thinking now, and that it does not meet the current needs of our citizens.
Yeah, but it also
No.
comes down to acting in good faith of not forcing everybody to drive, but also forcing everybody not to drive, and that's the fine balance in between. And unfortunately, the people in
Agreed.
charge are on the two extremes, yelling at each other and complaining that the other side's not willing to compromise.
And you also have the own nothing and be happy crowd. But just for the record, I'm not anti-transit. I'm not anti-car. I just want a balance in our transportation system, which is long overdue. Because there's parts of this country where you have transit, but you have it where you have buses that run as frequently as, like, the lowest frequency I can think of is every hour. And then you have some trains in some places that run every 2 hours or even once a day, and not even
Yeah.
on weekends.
It's that fun idea when you're hearing politicians talk about, hey, we got this new train or bus line and it's running every 30 minutes and we think this is amazing. And we're like, that is the bare minimum on the weekends and late at night, not during the day.
No. At best, it should be every 10 minutes.
That's
where it's a turn up and go service.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
the standards are just.
It depends on how many. It depends on how many people are using your bus system.
That too.
Yeah, that. But I mean, it goes back to the point that the standards have been set so low in this country that they're okay with, like, oh yeah, it leaves every hour. Have you seen what other countries usually run their headway at? That's nothing. We're talking about, like, you should be having it like every 5 or 10 minutes, not every hour. If at best.
Yeah, multiple vehicles running in that time frame.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took a bus system similar to that of Greyhound in Costa Rica, and it was running every hour. And that was just from city to city, not inside of the city.
Yeah.
And that system was as good as many of the main systems that are in major cities around the United States and Canada.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, we're going to have to close this off because we're at 10 o'clock and we all got work tomorrow for most of us and everything. But this has been a pretty good talk, and apologies for all the technical difficulties. But yeah, this is it. Again, our country we need to start really bringing our standards up to code and really start rebuilding our infrastructure, because it's killing people. It's literally killing people. It's destroying lives by not being prepared and not having our infrastructure built up. This has to be priority number one. Fix our own
overhaul
exactly
of our infrastructure.
Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Thank you all online for joining on this live stream of the American Rail Club. Thank you all for writing. We will see you on board next time. Godspeed and take care.
Have a good night.
Good night, guys. Bye. There you go.